Hey guys, Moldran here. Today I'm gonna show you the Season 4 Whirlwind Barb for Greater Rifts. Now I've done Greater with 60 with this build, with decent gear but not perfect gear, so it's definitely possible to get 70 plus Greater with this build, but let me explain it first. Now we got Whirlwind Blood Funnel on the left mouse attack, which is really good because if you put the standstill on spacebar, you can actually permanently whirlwind and keep all your buffs up, but more on that later. Then we got certain buffs. We got Battle Rage Bloodshed, pretty standard, but the thing how Battle Rage Bloodshed works is that when you crit, you do an explosion to all enemies near to you, dealing 20% damage of that. So it's very good to like pull a lot of monsters together. Then we have Walker Impunity for survivability, Ignore Pain for survivability, and with the way how the gear works is going to be almost permanently up. Same with Rapid Berserk, and then we have Threatening Shout Demoralize as well for emergency situations and to pull monsters. Also it decreases the monster damage by 20%, which is huge, and it's pretty much also going to be permanently up if you need it. Passives we have Ruthless, Boon of Pulcators, Weapon Master Rampage, and I use as 5th passive on the Hellfire Ring, Berserker Rage. All are offensive passives, and this one is to keep up Rapid Berserk permanently, as I said before. Paragon points, there's still some to spend. First, when you spend Paragon points, you also want to check, okay, what is your movement speed? My movement speed is 0%, so what we have to do here with the Paragon points is we have to max it first, and then we can put the rest into strength. Offense, you want to always check for attack speed. In this build, I mean, I was playing total build before. In this build, you want to actually max cooldown reduction first, and then check what breakpoints you have on attack speed. But that's an own topic that I can't really cover in this video. But I know with 5.4 I get the breakpoint that I need. Then we have life regeneration and gold from here. I mean, Paragon points are very important. You ideally want to get 800 so you can get all the offensive stats. But of course the more is better because then you can put a lot of strength as well. Okay, now on to the gear. This Whirlwind build is about the waist set. And the good thing about the waist set is that it's, even if you don't use Rend, so the 2-piece bonus won't help you, the 4 and 6-piece bonus are insane. Because the 4-piece bonus is when you whirl, you gain damage reduction, and the 6-piece bonus is that whirling gains the effect of Dust Devil's Rune. And Dust Devil's damage increased to 2,500% weapon damage. So most of your damage will actually come from the Dust Devils that you spawn when you use Whirlwind. As you can see here, all the dust here gonna do a lot of damage, and we were able to get on Whirlwind another rune. The rune that crit hits will store 1% of our maximum life. And we're gonna crit a lot, so we're always gonna have this constant healing flow come in. Now, as far as the other items go, we take Pride of Cassius, to increase the duration of Ignore Pain per 6 seconds. As I said, with cooldown reduction together, we can keep it permanently up. Then Hellfire Amulet with a good passive. Berserker Rage, I think Nerf Steel is also good because it gives you some extra survivability, but it's all up to you. Like, do you need DPS, do you need survivability? Braces in this build are pretty easy. You just use like the highest damage braces you can get. And ideally want to get either Steady Strikers or even better Lacunis with physical, strength, attack speed and crit chance. So that's pretty basic. And then the weapons have to be Pulcators. And again, ideally want to get high damage on them. But so you can also get on weapons, and it's a good stat, is area damage. So you can get area damage, for example, here instead of the attack speed, or here instead of the vitality, or cooldown reduction, as I said, also instead of vitality or attack speed here. And area damage, of course, you also want to get on shoulders. And you can also get, like some people also get area damage on the gauntlets and on the rings. I would get it as well, because area damage is really, really sick right now, after the buff and changes. But the thing is, I'm playing on non-season here, and I don't have access to the Bane of the Stricken, which is the super new gem that's actually able to destroy Rift Guardians. It does a lot more damage to Rift Guardians. I don't have that on that character, so I'm going for more crit damage instead of area damage to focus on the Rift Guardians. And last but not least, we have the gems. Pain Enhancer is pretty much guaranteed. You have to use this because it gives you the maximum damage output. Then of course a gem I can't show you yet, but it's going to be available in Season 4 as the Bane of Stricken. A lot of damage against elite packs, very, very useful, definitely must have. And then the third gem, I prefer Teguk, because if you get, for example, I have 62 Teguk, you can stack it 82 times. It's important that you don't let it drop. Sometimes I let it drop myself, but with experience you're gonna play in a way where Teguk will never drop, and that's pretty much it. And last gem that I have here is Pain of Trap. This is the one that I would replace with Bane of Stricken if I had access to it. And yeah, rings, Convention of Elements, super strong ring, because it gives you every 4 seconds a 200% increased damage with a certain element. And considering I'm using Whirlwind, it's physical mostly. But yeah, 200% increased damage is a lot, and you can really feel when the ring is actually active, when like this 4-second window out of 16-second window of Whirlwind of the 200% increased damage actually is live. And then we need a Unity. This is also required in high greater rifts, not in like say 40s or low 50s, but after 60 plus you really need the Unity to survive. And I also use it on my follower, of course, to get this synergy. Other good items on followers are the Unyang Do, which makes it so that if an enemy is below 17% life, this actually goes up to 20%, it just freezes it. So once the Rift Guardian gets low, you can pretty much just kill him because it's going to be perma-frozen almost. And then the S of Joan is a pull, which is also really, really sick because the Templar pulls everything together, 80% chance. And then Oculus Ring, the Templar creates an area where the monsters take 40% more damage from both him and me, which is also really good. And the shield is another chance to freeze. This one even like goes off when the Rift Guardian, for example, is at full HP. And of course you need to have the relics so the Templar can't die. But yeah, so much about the build. Now let's show it in action. I don't want to do a rift that takes too long. I could do a greater with 60 probably, but I'm just going to do a 50 here to show this build quickly and talk about it. Quickly illustrate all the things. And yeah. So we start whirling here. We use Rough Berserk immediately. And the party begins. Can use Threatening Shot to pull. And you see like really... my Fury doesn't really drop. It's also important you only use War Cry and Ignore Pain when you actually need it. Because that way, like, the ring, the Obsidian Ring of Zodiac that I actually have cubed, is actually going to reduce the Wrath Berserk cooldown, which is the most important one. And then you can see my third symbol from the left here in the buff bar, this kind of like rainbow thing is currently at 82. This is the Tego. And it's important that you don't let this drop. And so that the Tego doesn't drop, what you need to do is really, you need to just like permanently whirl. Like as long if you like don't do anything, if you don't whirlwind or don't use Spell Rage for let's say 2 or 3 seconds, it's gonna drop off. If you drop that off, it's gonna be a huge DPS loss. But I see the build plays very, very smoothly. There isn't really much that can trouble you right now. It doesn't have big boss damage compared to like the Hoter build that I'm gonna show off in my next video. But that being said, like this build like really excels against groups. If you pull together like a large group of monsters, you can kill them very, very quickly, even in the higher rifts. You can see now, for example, like as soon as there's like some kind of mob density, like here, it takes like only 2 or 3 seconds and everything's down. Obviously it's gonna take a bit longer in the higher rifts, but it's still gonna be very, very manageable. This build, like, as I said, like excels in AoE. This build is also good in party play, because, for example, you can buff and with Warcry, and you can group the monsters with Threatening Shout. So there's like also some things you can do in parties, and of course you also do a lot of damage. And the only problem like right now you can see probably is like the lead damage is not that high. We're also gonna see it on Rift Guardian afterwards. But it won't matter because, as I said, like, my elite damage would be a lot higher if I would use the Bane of Stricken. Now I'm not using the Bane of Stricken, so actually it takes a bit longer to kill those elite packs and so on. And now we got a shrine. This build synergizes very, very well with most shrines. Speed Shrine is probably one of the weaker shrines, but still, even if you Speed Shrine, you can get a nice progression here. Because you can just move very, very quickly through everything. Gonna finish off this monster and then move on. There we go. Now I'm sparing Battle Rage to reduce the cooldowns from other skills. Rough Berserk. Don't have enough cooldown reduction right now, so it's 100% up, but it's almost up. One thing I forgot to mention actually was the cubed items. With the patch you can actually cube some items on your character. And in the barb it's pretty obvious you're gonna cube the furnace for 50% lead damage, otherwise the leads would take even longer. Then you also take the hexing pants. The hexing pants work like this. If you stand still, you do 25% or 20% less damage, and if you move, you do 25% more damage and you gain 25% resource cost reduction. So for a Whirlwind Barb, obviously you're always moving, like and never stand still. So as a Whirlwind Barb, you always want to get the Hexing Pants because it's pretty much a 25% DPS increase, and you also get some resources, a Fury generation increase. Let's kill this guy here. There's also another Whirlwind build, and the other Whirlwind build is a lot more offensive and is made for farming. The other Whirlwind build actually uses Sprint Marathon. I mean, in this 50 Rift here I could have used Sprint Marathon. Maybe I'm gonna show like a 60 plus Swift at one point in the future. Probably once the season starts, because then it actually matters, like when you get an early 60 plus Swift. But yeah. I mean, this Swift I could have done faster with like another Whirlwind build, with a focus, restrain set, and furious charge. Get the DPS boost from the rings. I can probably end with Sprint Marathon. I could probably do the same Rift in like... It will probably be done now already. But so that's not the point of this build. This build is like really for pushing the high Rifts. This build is like the one build that's like actually able to survive the high Rifts. As you can always see, like the pulse from a Templar, super good. There we got a shrine, shielding shrine. Again, not ideal, but yeah. What do you want to do? The two best shrines for this build definitely Conduit and Power. But maybe we get one of them for the Rift Guardian. That would be nice as well. Still level 1 here. We keep moving. Spin, spin, spin. Next season is going to be a lot about spinning. There's also another variation of this build that works in Great Rifts well. And that's actually with 2 piece Raft of Waste set and then 6 piece Immortal King set. And the point of the other build is pretty much you use Rend. Use Rend with a 2 and a weapon and you do a lot of damage with Rend as well on top of your Whirlwind damage. I'm actually dead here, wow. Happens when you don't pay attention. Okay, we're almost done here. After this, back the Rift Guardian should spawn. Just trying to look if there's a shrine nearby, but no. So I'm just gonna go for the Guardian spawn now. Dying with this build, definitely not recommended. Because you lose all your Tego stacks. There we go, we got the Bone Warlock here. I guess Rift Guardians with this build is pretty fast. There's different things you can do, for example, some people like prefer in circles around him. Some people prefer to like do like this, so like whirlwind through him. But you can't really control where the dust level spawns, so ultimately it doesn't matter that much what you do here. Always keep your Rough Berserk up. And keep in mind, like once he gets below 30% HP, you do more damage to him because of Ruthless. Ruthless increases the damage by 40% once he's less than 30%. So don't give up a Rift Guardian and like, oh, it takes so long to kill him, because maybe at the last 30% you can like get back. Okay, now we are in the phase where we actually do the 40% more damage. I want to Rough Berserk up so I don't see it, but once Rough Berserk is up, you're gonna see how fast it's gonna die. It's gonna be now. There you go, should only take like 5 seconds now. And he's down. Alright. That's pretty much the build. Got a cow level here, which is cool. And a lot of blood shots. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. I'm now quickly gonna show the Canise Cube that I forgot before. Here's the Canise Cube. Furnace is a set, Hexing Pants, and Obsidian Ring for Zodiac. And I get benefits from all of that. The way how the Zodiac ring works is, reduce the remaining cooldown of one of your skill by 1 second when hit with your suspending attacks or Whirlwind. If you hit the monster with Whirlwind, you reduce your Rapid Berserk or other cooldown by 1%. And that's why I said, like, you should only use Threatening Shot or Warcry when you need them, because when they are not on cooldown, then all of those reductions go into Rapid Berserk, and it really helps your Rapid Berserk uptime. But yeah, that was the build. Hope you guys had fun, and hope you might try it next season to get some high Greater Rift rankings. Thanks for watching. I'll be back.